students, I'm Aanchal Sharma, your educator. In this video, we are going to talk about another playwright and his name is Habib Tanvir. So Habib Tanvir is a playwright and he is very famous for the Hindi and Urdu literature. So this picture in front of you is of Habib Tanvir. Let us read something about him. So born in Raipur, Madhya Pradesh on September 1, 1923 and graduated from Morris College in Nagpur. In 1944, he is one of the very important playwrights that we saw, and he started his career in Mumbai at the ammunition factory. And he wrote in films in Mumbai as well and joined later the PWA, that is the Progressive Writers Association, and he became an integral part of the IPTA as well. IPTA stands for the Indian People's Theatre Association. So as an actor in 1945 he joined IPTA. So we saw that he is writing the plays as well and he is performing the plays as well. He moved to Delhi in 1954 and with the collaboration with other writers and other theatre owner, he directed the Agra Bazaar, a very important play written by him. So he went to London in 1955 to study theatre and spent most of his time in Europe to understand the Western culture. He was very influenced by Bertolt Brecht, right? And he saw that he understand the Western drama and their production styles. Meanwhile, when he came back to our country, he started to write the very important plays that are associated with him. So it is the Western attitude that made him write the brilliant plays. He returned to India in 1958 and directed Mitti Ki Gaadi, a play based on the very important Mirchakatika that is written by Shudrak, and it is a Sanskrit play, and we have already discussed the story of Mirchakatika and we have studied it another, I think we have studied it 2 times. So one time when I was explaining you about the different poets, and one time when I was explaining the different Sanskrit dramas and the evolution of Sanskrit dramas. So we discussed the story of Mirchakatika in greater detail, and then later we realized that after writing and directing a very important play that is Mitti Ki Gaadi, that is based on Mirchakatika, he founded a very important thing, that is the Naya Theatre. So he brought the Naya Theatre in 1959. The legendary Indian theatre director manager, that is the Habib Tanvir, contributed his long journey of experimentation and exploration till he reached the turning point. And this turning point vis-a-vis of his career is seen when he started to write the most important play in his life. So till now he is regarded for his form and content, but he is also remembered for the other brilliant plays. So Agra Bazaar is written by him, but he has also written other important plays. Now, on returning to Delhi, he, that is Habib Tanvir, did Mitti Ki Gaadi. This is also based on, as I told you, Mirchakatika, and it is also called as the Clay Cart in 1958. It was adapted by Sedi, and this is based on Mirchakatika, as I told you, for the Hindustani theatre, introducing a new folk performance for his native Chhattisgarh. Right, so he is very influenced by the native dance forms, by the native tradition, by the folk culture of Chhattisgarh. Hence, he brought this Naya theatre and used the people from Chhattisgarh only, and then left to create his own group. After coming up with this play and after directing this play, Mitti Ki Gaadi, he came up with the very important theatre, and that is the Naya Theatre in 1959, as I told you, and he started adopting different plays, directing, scripting the plays in English, Hindi and Urdu. And he is basically using the group members from Chhattisgarh, and they are performing and using different dance forms, art styles that is that is very cultural in itself. And this culture is coming from Chhattisgarh. So he staged European and Sanskrit drama, classics, as well as the folk stories, and used different theatrical styles that were westernized in nature. So the turning point was in 1970 when he reviewed the Agra Bazaar with almost all his entire cast from Chhattisgarh. So he is again reviving his play, and he is again seeing that this play can be brought forward, but this time he changed something, and this time he used all the cast members from Chhattisgarh. Hence what he is doing, he is bringing back his own tradition, he is bringing back his own roots. The Naya theatre that he formed in 1959, he is using the Chhattisgarhi people there, he is using the people from his own community, he is bringing back his own culture. For Tanvir, the past, or you can say the phase of the post 1970s was remarkable, and he was professionally working very hard. Not only he produced a lot of theatrical work with the Naya theatre people, but he also managed a very magnum opus play that he considers the most modern classic theatre in the domain of Indian theatre, and this is called as the CHARANDAS CHOR. So this play, as I told you, after Agra Bazaar made him very famous, because after that he started the Naya theatre. He revived Agra Bazaar with all the characters of Naya theatre that are belonging from Chhattisgarh, and then later he wrote his magnum opus, that is CHARANDAS CHOR. Now what he is doing basically, Habib Tanvir sees that it is the caste that is not being heard, or it is the people or the lower strata people who are not heard, but they are the one who can be depicted in the most beautiful manner, and the theatre comes from these kind of people only. So this work is included in the modern classical, or it is called as the modern classic of the Indian theatre. From 1950s onwards, Tanvir has written, adapted, translated and staged plays that are ranging from Sanskrit tradition, even he's touching on Shakespeare, Brecht and Molière. So he's using the Western culture because he studied there, and he is mixing both the cultures as well. One can, of course, witness that there are conscious efforts for developing the indigenous performative idiom, and he is mixing the indigenous and the modern together. He is changing the experience, the approach and the traditional sense. He is also using the folk forms, and he is bringing the Western form together. And he is originally making all of this, and he is blending it all together. Now the CHARANDAS CHOR, this play is very important, and this play made him very famous as well. So CHARANDAS CHOR is based on Rajasthani folk tale, but very eminent by a very eminent writer, as I told you. And it was also, this folk tale that is seen in Rajasthani was written by Vijendra Deta, and he documented it from the oral culture tradition of Rajasthan. So Tanvir adapted the tale into a full-fledged theatre play, incorporating the new scenes and also slightly modifying the ending. So initially we saw that this play is attributed to a very important writer, that is the Vijendra. Vijendra has written this play, and he has written this play associating it with the Rajasthani theatre. Also it was oral theatrical in nature, so it is coming from the oral cultural tradition. But then we have Tanvir, and he adopted this play and he brought this play forward, and of course we have seen that he is changing the plays, he is changing the theatrical performances, he is incorporating new scenes, and he is slightly modifying the ending as well. So Tanvir's engagement with the commoner is very important, as I told you. He believes that the common man is at the center of the stage, and he is someone who is most important. So the plebeian, the commoner, is the theme in every play that he has written. And he is talking, and this is the striking feature that he wanted to portray in his theatre as well. So he wanted to bring back the politics, and he wanted to change the politics of the theatre. From Agra Bazaar, that came out in 1952, to CHARANDAS CHOR in 1957, Bahadur Kalreen, and then we have Hirma Ki Amar Kahani, etc. are all different plays that are written, and all are concerned with the plebeian, that is the commoner. all are talking about the cultural life, the social, psychological, philosophical and the political life as well. So two most important plays that you have to remember is the first, that is Agra Bazaar, the second, that is CHARANDAS CHOR. These are the two most important works associated to Tanvir, and he evolved the theatre, he brought the theatre, and he is bringing back the indigenous culture and mixing it with the westernized culture. So a great deal of imagination, flexibility of the folk is used. He clearly displays that his other works, as well as including the Chhattisgarhi adaptation of Shakespeare, a midnight summer's dream, is also very important. He has called it and renamed it as The Love of God's Own, a springtime dream, and it came out in 1993. So he had a new adaptation of Shakespeare's play, A Midsummer Night's Dream as well, and this is also very important, and he is known for this work, and this adaptation is done in Chhattisgarhi. Right, so let us quickly revise. These are few clippings from his plays only, and we saw that Tanvir is someone who is bringing back the tradition. He is someone who is writing for the common people. He is bringing forward the Western culture and mixing it with the indigenous culture. Now, one very important thing, while I was reading about him, I realized that I have to tell this fact to everyone, that once he was seen in actually, he used to stay nearby only to Karol Bagh, right? So he was someone who used to just sit here in Madras Cafe and have his coffee or drinks, and he just used to sit here and talk to his friends as well, different politicians, different playwriters, and he used to visit this area again and again of Karol Bagh. So once another writer has documented it, that once he was walking past the roads of Karol Bagh, and he realized that few people were shouting, and when he just went there to see, he realized that Tanvir was surrounded by a lot of people, and they were talking bad names to him. Now they were thinking that he is someone who is a terrorist, but he later, both of these people, the writer, I think his name was Satyajit, and he and Tanvir were brought back to the police station, and the policemen clarified that these people are playwriters and they are just sitting here observing. Why? Because they are writing about the common people. So they are common people like us. They used to visit in Madras Cafe in Karol Bagh. So this is something you should know, and of course we can write as well if you have this creativity inside you. So I hope you understood and you liked today's class. If you have any doubt, you can write it in the comment section. I'll surely reply to you. Thank you.